Welcome back, guys, to another video brought to you by your literary pharaoh. Literary pharaoh. Well, yeah, guys. Again, I had a good workout yesterday, which was Sunday. Remember, if you've been keeping up with my story, right now we're staying with the in-laws. So I'm staying with my wife's mother and father, with my 3 kids. We're all in one little room, so it's a little hectic. But we're making it through. We're making it through. Today is Monday, December 16th, and we are supposed to officially get our keys today. We're supposed to be closing today. We just don't know what time. So it's been a journey, guys. It's been a journey, and I haven't really detailed everything on here. There were a lot of things that I was going through that I didn't talk about on here. I think as of last week, I just started to give you guys updates as to why I wasn't posting as frequently as I normally would. I did that just to give you guys, again, insight as to why I wasn't posting that much. And to be honest with you guys, it was therapeutic on my part to let that information out. A lot of the times we keep things in, and you have to have a way to let things out. And though it's just a monologue, we're not having a dialogue. It's not like you guys are talking back to me. Not a lot of people leave comments on my page, so it's not like I'm having a dialogue. It's just me talking it out. And if you understand the way the mental health industry works, a lot of the times when people go see a psychiatrist, they or psychologist, one of the two. I think one of them dispenses medicines and one of them studies you. I think the psychologist studies your mind and the psychiatrist dispenses medicine. So I think when you go see a psychologist, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I could be wrong. I could probably have those two mixed up. But either way, when you go see a mental health expert and you're getting some sort of counseling to address any issues that you're having, a lot of the times it's really one-sided. The expert asks the question, and then you, as the person coming in needing the help, you do most of the talking. So last week when I was giving you guys information as to what I was going through, it was therapeutic to me because I got to release. It helped me to compartmentalize a lot of things, and it's been a wild ride. We've had the underwriter. If any of you guys know anything about getting a house, you know, you have your loan person that's working with you to get the information that you need, and your financial updates or your financial status is then moved over to the underwriter, and the underwriter is the one that actually signs off on it. And the underwriter is the most important person in this entire process. And our particular underwriter did have the discretion to let us go ahead and close Friday. However, this particular underwriter, it's a lady, I don't want to play the race card, but she must be racist because it's almost as if like she kept digging. Give me 60 days of bank statements. Give me this. And these are things that we've already turned in. It was very stressful. I started to get headaches, stress headaches. They needed some type of information from my student loan provider, Mohela. They wanted me to get a letter from them. And I kid you not, guys, if you have Mohela, if you ever call that number, be prepared to be on the phone for at least an hour, at minimum. It doesn't matter when you call. They tell you to call between 7 and 11, and that's the best time to call. It doesn't matter. I was literally on hold. This is what happened to me Friday. I was literally on hold. I was literally on the phone with Mohela for over 4 hours, trying to get them to give me a letter to my underwriter, so my underwriter can go ahead and push the loan over so we can get our keys Monday. You say, why do they need a letter? Well, they needed a letter that states that I will be underneath an IDR payment plan, which is a income-driven repayment plan. And they needed something showing that what my monthly payments would be. That's all they needed. But even when I went to the website, even when I went to the Mohela website, there's a menu bar that you go to online, and you can get your account information printed. This account information that you can get printed is actually made to go to the mortgage people. It actually says, it gives a disclaimer at the bottom. It says, print this copy out to give to your mortgage people, because they understand that whenever you're trying to get a home loan, a loan for a house, that a lot of the times your student loans does factor in your monthly payments, your balance, and all that stuff factors into how the underwriter is going to make the decision to whether you get the loan or whether you do not get the loan. So in this case, I printed that document out, but that was not enough for this particular underwriter. They kept pushing us. They were digging for everything. My wife had savings underneath a different bank, and they were asking, where did you get this money from? I felt as if it was a little bit overboard because they were no longer looking at our credit history. Our credit history is red. My credit score is over 800. My wife's credit score is over 800. So our credit is good. I just didn't understand why they kept prodding and poking. So eventually our loan person, Donna Whitman, she just like, to hell with it. I'm going to just go to a different underwriter. So she had to go to a different underwriter that would not be asking for all those stipulations. And when she switched to a different underwriter, we were able to get the process moved along. I finally got the letter sent. It was hell. The people at Mohela did not want to send a letter. It's not that they did not want to send a letter. They had a process where you had to wait 5 to 7 business days. And we did not have 5 to 7 business days. We wanted to get into our new house ASAP. Why don't we have 5 to 7 business days? Because right now, the house that we were living in, someone else is in there today as I speak. They've already moved in. We don't have a place to stay. We have most of our stuff in storage. And right now we're living with my in-laws with just a couple of items. I've been pretty much wearing the same clothes to work, just washing them over and over again. So it's just a momentary inconvenience for something that's grander. And I talked about it on my last video about if you know your why, you're able to endure. So the why we're going through this is because we have a bigger goal in mind. The bigger goal is to get to the house that we always wanted. So it's allowing us to kind of endure the process. And we have little children. Little kids are just kids. They just love to play. They don't understand what's going on. But we as adults, we see everything for its full, for its full essence. And kids are just happy. Our kids are just happy that grandma, granddad are there. Mommy and dad is here. We're all together. They love that. They love for us to be in a cramped space. You know how kids are. They just love everybody to be together. So I'm glad that my kids are in a good mental state. And I'm glad that, I'm also happy that this also gave my kids an opportunity to spend a little bit more time with their grandparents. And it also afforded my my in-laws to spend time with their grandkids. So in the midst of all these things happening, and though it's been inconvenient for my wife and I, there's been a lot of good that's come out of it. And it's actually caused me and my wife to get closer because we've been through a lot. Like, I can't even remember everything. Just even thinking about it right now, just kind of trying to reflect back about all the things that we've been through. It's almost giving me a headache, but I don't want to even rehash everything. I'm just giving you guys the main things. I'll be at work. I'll get an email. You need this document. You need that document. I felt like I was doing like 4 or 5 things at once. And did I remind you, I'm still producing at work as well. So it's pushed me in a place that I haven't been. It's kind of put me in uncharted territory, if I can use that term. But you can't, as a person living life, you can't always seek comfort. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be totally honest with you guys. I didn't seek this. Like, this situation has been very, very uncomfortable for me, but it's also allowed me to see what I'm made of. It's also allowed me to see what my wife is made of. I've got to see my wife at her worst, in terms of her emotional disposition when we were going through all this, and she got to see me at my worst, or how I would react in bad situations. I've always remained calm, no matter what things would happen. My wife is the more emotional type. She wears her emotions on her sleeve. She's like, "Hey, we need this document. Why are they sending me this now?" Even when we were waiting for the letter, the letter from the Mohela. The reason why I was on the phone with them for over 4 hours is because we needed that letter by noon on Friday, or else the underwriter would not approve. I got the letter sent to my email at 11:37, and I started calling them at around 6:50 something. I started calling them. I was on the phone with them that long. And Donna Whitman is my loan person with Cross Country Mortgage. She was on the phone with me as well. She was on hold. I mean, she would put me on mute because she was doing her job. But anytime the people would come back on the phone, giving some sort of an excuse why they couldn't write the letter, Donna Whitman was back at their throats again. "Hey, we need this letter now. These people don't have a place to stay." We really didn't have a place to stay. I mean, staying with the in-laws, like, the living situation we live in is not really, it's very stressful. But again, like I said, we can endure the stress because we know it's for a bigger cause. We know what the end goal is going to be, and that end goal is going to be getting into that house that we've always wanted. So that's how it's been. It's been a journey, and today we close, and I'll give you guys updates when we finally close. And I don't know. I think my wife may break down crying because she's the person that deals with all the finances. I don't deal with that. I used to be that way when I was younger. I used to have like a big 5-inch binder. Everything that I would buy in terms of like big purchases, I would print out receipts. I had depending on what store I went to, I would have the tabs. Labeled. So if I went to Best Buy, I have the Best Buy tab. If I went to Fry Electronics, I would have that. If I went online to purchase an item from Apt Electronics, I would have a label called Apt, which is ABT Electronics. So I was very detailed. I used to be that way. And life happened to me. I got into a horrible marriage. My first marriage was very horrible. I married the woman based upon desperation. Not desperation that I was desperate for a woman, but I was in a desperate state. I'm not gonna relive the story, but I will say this: never make a decision when you're not at an emotional place that's even keel. In other words, at the time that I made the decision to be with this woman that I was with in the past, to marry her, is because at the time I was out of a job at the time, and she was helping me. She was very helpful. She was helping me trying to, fill out applications, giving me insights. She was almost like my personal secretary, and I liked that about her. I'm like, okay, this is what a man wants. A man wants a woman that's going to be by his side no matter what. But to make a long story short, she was the cause of me getting into trouble in the first place. There's a long story. I don't want to rehash the details, but basically she did something she made a call at my job that put my job in jeopardy. I ended up finding out later when I did research. So essentially, it's almost like the person who burns down your house, but they come behind you and say, hey, I'm going to give you fire insurance. But they're the ones that were the cause of your house being burned down. They're the culprits of your house being demolished. So that's what she did. It was almost like one of those movies that you see on the Hallmark channel, or one of those channels where you see those deceitful women. I was basically in bed with the devil, and I learned a lot because I made decisions in a place where I didn't have confidence in myself, because I was desperate. I was desperate to have somebody help me, and then she was just there. And then I was like, this is a woman I could see marrying. Then we ended up dating longer than we should have. There were plenty of signs of her behavior in terms of her emotional state, very irrational. Come to find out later that she did have mental issues, bipolar, extremely bipolar, like where, 1 minute everything's good, the next minute is hell to pay. It was a very hard time for me. It's a hard time for my family as well, because my mom saw the stress that I was under. And the wife that I'm with now, she's totally opposite from that. She's very, very mild-mannered, even keel, relaxed, sensible, smart, nurturing to her kids. And yeah, sometimes in life we often have to make mistakes in order for us to know what we want. Because a lot of times we think we know what we want, and then when you get what you thought you wanted, you realize, okay, no, this is not what I want. It's kind of like trial and error. It's like buying a product. You buy the product and you realize the product is not what was advertised, and you return it. So you become a better researcher into finding out what you want. And that's what happened. I became a better researcher. Once I divorced my first wife, I became very cognizant and more keen and more sensitive to those subtle things that we overlook as men. If you have a woman that's very quick-tempered and gets very angry quickly, you don't want that. Those aren't characteristics of when I think of feminine energy. Feminine energy is supposed to be very protective and nurturing. I'm not saying that you can't get mad, but I'm talking about being quick-tempered, getting angry very easily, wanting to control everything all the time, being very manipulative, doing everything you can to put your man in uncomfortable situations in order to get some sort of a psychological edge over your husband. You're playing a game within the game. it takes a lot of energy to do those things. And you do have women that are like that. And most men, we just want peace. We just want to come home to a peaceful house. We don't want a nagging wife. We just want a wife that respects us. That's it. And we don't want a wife that's extremely needy, because it depends on what you are. I mean, if you are a rich man, then you can afford a wife that's needy. But if you're just an average guy like me, I can't afford a woman that's, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need this, I mean, come on. We gotta be realistic. So yeah, those are the things that I went through with my ex. So it allowed me to see clearly. And I've grown a lot. Right now, if you're a man listening to me right now, and if you're a woman listening to me right now, I'll encourage you. First of all, let me talk to the men. If you're going to find a woman to marry, I strongly encourage you to marry a woman that's at least 5 to 7 years younger than you. You say, why the age? Why does that matter? Well, if you're younger, most of my audiences are older men. But if you're young, if you're in your 30s, or even if you're in your late 20s, look for a woman that's younger than you. You say, why? I'm going to tell you why. When you are older than your woman has a degree of respect for you, because they look up to you. They look at you like the eldsman, like the elder statesman. There's something that goes with being an older man. It doesn't mean that you're gonna know more than your woman. It's not about knowing more. It's just it's never, you definitely shouldn't date or marry a woman that's older than you, because women that are much older than you, or not even much older, if they're just older than you, that means they have a little bit more wisdom than you. They've been around the block, and those women could be very manipulative. And then they tend not to respect the man that's younger than them. Remember, young women grew up looking up to their fathers, if they even had a father in the house. They respected their fathers because obviously their fathers are older. So if you want to be that type of father figure to your wife, a woman that looks at you and respects you, it's good to be older than them. My wife, I'm 7 years older than her. And when we met, she had her experiences, I've had my experiences. And that age gap really helped us out, because I was much more mature than the typical guy she dated, and she was just naive enough and I say naive enough because she didn't know enough to disrespect me. You have women who think they know it all, which is why they end up disrespecting the man, because they know it all. But when you have a woman that stays in her place, that looks up with you in a way that she is kind of in awe over you, and she respects your status in life in terms of whether it's your job or your finances or the way you handle things, because most older men have their stuff together. It's when you're younger, you're trying to find your spot, trying to find your niche in life. But when you're older and you're more established, women like that. They like the financial security that's there. Not about how much you make, but the financial security, meaning that you're a go-getter. Like there's a steady stream of income. Like you're well intact. You're not all over the place. You're not in and out of jobs. You're a consistent person that can provide. Your mind state as the man, a woman really can gravitate towards that. But only younger women can respect that, because they haven't been around the block enough. So when they see that, they see they see you as an emblem of security. You are the symbol of a person that's going to make them feel protected. But sometimes, not all the time, sometimes, because there are outliers out there, but I'm speaking to the general rule here. You will get women that are older than you as a man, that they've been there, done that. They're looking for you to be the next step up. So when a woman is with you and she's already looking for you to be something that you're not, that she's not going to respect you because you're not what she wants. She's trying to build you up to be something else. You never want to date a woman or be with a woman that's trying to build you into something else. Now it's okay to be with the woman that helps you to get to where you want to be, but not a woman that's trying to identify who you're supposed to be or put you in a certain classification in order to make her ego, in order to stroke her ego so she can walk around saying, I have a husband who does this. You shouldn't need that. The way you are as a man, if a woman respects you, she'll just accept you for who you are. And that's what my wife did. I wasn't pulling in six figures. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not some major guy with a bunch of money, but she just she respected my status. And part of that status was my age difference and where I was in my career compared to where she was in her career. So I'm going to be brutally honest. If you're a man, date a woman that is not as accomplished as you. And make sure she's younger. That's the only way she'll respect you. Because if she's just as accomplished as you, or even if she's more accomplished than you, it's going to be hard. It's just human nature. They're not going to respect you. And women, you have to agree with me. Like, if you're with the man that's struggling financially, no matter how hard of a worker he is, and let's say you're financially stable, yeah, he could be a good man and all that stuff, but that thing that you're overlooking in terms of his financial stability, that's going to end up being the thing that comes to bite you in the ass in the future. Because that's what a lot of people do. They make that mistake that they see certain things in the beginning. They're like, okay, they overlook it because they're in a state of desperation. Either they're tired of being lonely, they're just happy to be with a man, or vice versa, they're just happy to be with a woman. And then later on, that thing that you overlook becomes a thing that nags you because it never went away. If you see something that you don't prefer, I'm not saying you're supposed to be looking for perfection, but there's certain things that are non-negotiables. If you see certain things that you're not in agreement with or in alignment with, I wouldn't compromise that, because those things will haunt you in your relationship in the long run. It always does. All right. So women, look for older men that are more accomplished than you, because that's the only way you're going to respect them. It's just in your nature. You're not going to respect the man that's not accomplished. And when I say accomplished, I'm not tying that to a dollar amount. Accomplished means that it varies. It's relative, because accomplishments to one woman may be trash to somebody else. Whatever you're looking for, find somebody that's there. That's the only way you're going to respect a man. And as a man, find a woman that can respect where you're at. And if she can't respect where you're at, then you're going to have to let her go, because if you decide to marry that woman, your life will be hell, because she's not happy. She's marrying you based upon hope in the future of you getting to be somewhere she endeavors you to be, or internally they see you going somewhere, so they're waiting for that moment. And if that moment never comes, good luck. It's going to be hell to pay. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. I know I went on a rant there, but I had to give that perspective. And today we officially close, man. I'm excited about that. I've been very tired sleeping in a bed that I'm not comfortable in. So back has been stiff, but I did have a good workout yesterday. Me and my wife, we did some HIIT in the driveway, and we ran around her parents' neighborhood. I just couldn't help it. I had to get out and do something. It's been over like a week since I did anything. I haven't gained any weight. I still look good, and I'm still eating my foods. I'm still ripped. I still have my abs. I still have everything. I'm fine. That's to let you know that it's your diet. It's not about going to the gym every day. If you just eat right, your body will take care of you. All right, so I'm gonna leave off there, heading into my job. I've been in the parking lot for quite some time. Thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for indulging me for another session, for another upload. It's not called Morning Workout Talk, but I'll just call it Morning Talk. All right. And again, remember, I always end with this. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. And I always end my videos with this to let you guys know, always reminding you guys that no matter what I said on this video, the most important thing to acknowledge, or most important thing to embrace in your journey in this life, is to know that your health is your wealth. It's not what's in your bank account. It's not how many jobs you work. It's not trying to get a bigger career or more cars or a bigger house. It's your health. And if you don't have your health, you have nothing. Your health is your wealth, because that's the only thing that's priceless. Your health is priceless. You can't put a price on your health. So do all you can to eat right, exercise, move, meditate, get sunlight, eat things that are grown from the earth. Again, I don't care what it feels or tastes like. That's your medicine. If you want to live longer, make the sacrifices now so you can live a long, healthy life. All right? Peace. Love you guys. Your health is your wealth. Take care. Till next time. Bye.